We are on an official timeout now.
And we are back just in time to catch an official timeout. New York Stock Exchange 326 to Capital District's 24. 22 minutes left to play in the game.
2016.com/live. It is a free live feed here provided courtesy.
Big sponsors for this weekend. We'd like to thank Rock Tape and also Polar Seltzer coming in big. There's all different kinds of flavored Polar Seltzer water all over this joint today, and I drank probably a gallon of it so far.
Yeah, I definitely needed to clear out my throat. We're already into the third game, and I'm already starting to lose my voice. It's actually been pretty exciting so far here at Battle on Bunker Hill.
Also like to thank a huge supporter of all roller derby events and roller derby in general, Bruised Boutique, big sponsor for this event as well as many others.
And also, our pivot line is powered by NYSE. We'd like to give a big shout out to NYSE. Thank you again for supporting us here.
2:30 p.m. We will have the Castle number 30 Master Jolly Rogers taking on the Philadelphia Hooligans. Following at 4:30, we will have.
And now we're back on the air, but you can join us also on Twitter at hashtag BOBH2016. You can communicate with us right here on the live stream.
That's right. We're trying to keep the stream going, and Twitter seems to be more reliable for us today, so I have been posting score updates on there. Follow the hashtag, as Krim said, BOBH2016. Let us know how it sounds, how it looks. Cheer on your favorite teams. We're going to let you know what's going on with this official timeout. I don't know if we're... looks like we had an equipment check over there on the bench over at the Stock Exchange side. Not sure exactly what was going on with that.
Well, I can say so far in the second half, we've had quite the merry-go-round of the Bruised Boutique penalty box. Heavily, actually, was with the New York Stock Exchange going to the box more often. But it has not inhibited their score right now. Again, 326 to 24. Right now, you got Kai Sexual who blasted through the pack right now with the lead status.
Lamoureux is the jammer for Capital District. He's making his way around. Jam will be called before he gets a chance to score any points.
Well, they have been actually picking up their offense right here, as we've already seen so far in the first 9 minutes here. Trauma Authority was able to pick up another 11 points. So their offense has kicked in, and now if they just tighten up their blockers, they might be able to catch up a little bit more and tighten in that deficit.
Another thing that we can see here on the track that may not translate through the live stream is the intensity here, especially with the Capital District bench being right here in front of our announcers table. You can tell some of these guys are very passionate about what they do, I guess is a good way to say it. And,
absolutely. This game, you could kind of call it the Battle of New York right now, because you have the New York Stock Exchange in New York and also Albany's own, Capital District. So they're very close to each other, and these are skaters that do know each other very well. So that adds to the intensity between these two teams right now. Meanwhile, Carnage Asada blasting through again. Looks like there was going to be a star pass on Wired, but Carnage able to call that off.
A lot of the games this weekend really have implications, very important implications when it comes to the MRDA rankings. New York Stock Exchange currently ranked number 3 in the MRDA. Capital District ranked number 25. But they don't necessarily have to win. But if they have a good showing, against the Stock Exchange or any other team that's so highly ranked, then that's going to increase their rankings as well. Last time New York Stock Exchange played the Trauma Authority was actually in 2013. So they may be from the same state, but they don't always skate in the same circles, if you will.
Very true. And also what's been helping with New York Stock Exchange this particular game is that they've been having a 7-player jammer rotation. So they're always keeping someone fresh and fast out there.
That's Stankus, the lead jammer for New York Stock Exchange. Goes around the outside on the straightaway untouched. He's coming around again. Will Jettison listed as the jammer for Capital District.
And again, it's Trauma Authority trying to change it up. Will Jettison is actually his first jam of this bout here, and we're already in the second half.
Currently not wearing the star up, and there we go. There's the star pass to Herzog, who was the pivot for Capital District. Now taking his time before he puts that star back on his helmet.
Right now, Herzog having his issues trying to get around I Don't Care Bear, finally does. Oh!
All of a sudden, 3 Stock Exchange skaters went down, and then the 4th went down right after the other 3 got up. So somebody's out there laying hits.
Is it appropriate to actually say, Skid, that the Shocks crashed? I finally get to use that pun.
You have been waiting your entire announcing career for that one, haven't you?
Absolutely.
I don't care if you announce for Stock Exchange every month. That's not something that you get to say all the time. Historically, a very powerful and talented team. Trauma Authority with 24 points now. 374 for the Stock Exchange. We have 17 and a half minutes left to play in this contest.
And actually come up for his very first jam of this bout is Mike Hart from Trauma Authority. Coming in number 0 there, going against Kembo Slice. Slice already picking up about 87 points total from this bout already.
Kembo Slice comes into the pack hot and fast. Blockers all spread out on both teams. He laid a little bit of rubber down on the track with a juke, but he was able to get through on touch for 5. Now he's back around track again. He's pushed out to the inside, forced to recycle around the back. Gets around Lamoureux, and he's good for another 5.
Actually, speaking of one of our sponsors, we just talked about Nessa tweeting great happenings at hashtag BOBH2016. Again, you can join us live on Twitter. Tweet out to us, to Skid and myself, Crimson.
So I believe Dowd, who is the pivot, also has the Jammer Star in his hand, and he's on his way to take a seat in the penalty box for a directional block penalty. Power Jam Shock Exchange. That's going to be their 6th Power Jam of the game. Surprisingly low amount of Power Jams in this game compared with, say, the Hooligans game this morning, where there was, I believe, 30 Power Jams.
Absolutely. There was actually one point, there was about a 60 to 70% ratio versus the number of jams that we had versus the power jams that were happening. But right now we're seeing actually in the second half even more penalties being called on both teams. And right now Kemba Slice able to push New York Stock Exchange over the 400 mark right now. For another 4 on the board, they're going to bring it to 413.
Oh, I overestimated myself. There were 22 Power Jams in the Collision versus Hooligans game. 15 of those Power Jams were in favor of the Hooligans. That was quite a game to watch this morning. If you guys are nerd stats and you'd like stat nerds, and you'd like to keep up with us at home, you can go to boomkitty.com and click on Remote Viewer, and you can find yourself the BOBH stats for any of the games today. This is the third game of this weekend's activities.
And of course, right after this battle, we're going to have Casco Bay taking on Philly. Both teams already played earlier today. Casco Bay took on Montreal Men's, lost 402 to 95. And also the Hooligans were able to conquer the Collision 337 to 72. So Hooligans coming in strong.
A lot of points being scored in one-sided games so far today. But that just means that the teams who are winning, when they are playing each other later on this weekend, they're going to be a little bit tired and beat up, but they're also going to be, warmed up at the same time. So it's going to be interesting to see as these teams take each other on. We're going to be here all weekend at Shriners Auditorium in Wilmington, Massachusetts. Battle of Bunker Hill 2016. This is the first year for this event, and despite some technical difficulties with the live stream, I'd say that overall the event has been an overwhelming success.
Absolutely. And me personally, I'm very excited for later on tonight. You're going to be seeing Team Stars versus Team Stripes exhibition bout.
That's right. Two teams from Boston Roller Derby, the WFTDA league here in Boston. Another big game to watch tonight at 6:30 is going to be Mass Maelstrom as they take on the New York Stock Exchange. The Massachusetts-New York rivalry, always a popular one.
Absolutely. Got to sit rinkside last year at ECDX and watch these two go at it. And it's always a fun bout between the New York Stock Exchange and Mass Maelstrom. And I think that both those teams have some of the most impassioned fans I've ever seen in men's roller derby.
Oh, especially when it comes to that particular matchup. Maelstrom and Stock Exchange have played each other 11 times in the last 6 years. So they're definitely no strangers to each other or each other's strategy. Mass Maelstrom bringing a lot of new faces to the track this year. They've got a couple of transfers in from some other teams, which we'll see later on. I'm just gonna tease it out there. I'm not gonna give out all the information now. You guys are gonna have to tune in at 6:30 right here on the live stream. 4:33 to 27. Just over 11 minutes left to play in the game.
Unwired stepping up for Trauma Authority. This is about his 9th jam. He has yet to put any points on the board, but this could be his opportune time to do so. Let's go and skate to skate against I'm Havoc. He's been up 5 times now. He's put 53 points up on the board. Unwired pushing Havoc out of bounds, skated backwards, neither jammer moving.
Very slow, if not completely stationary pack right now.
Usually it's like high impact gameplay gets the crowd going. It's just the absolute static moment right now.
Yeah,
it's brought the tension up.
You see right here, closest on your screen, that's I Am Havoc, refusing to get drawn backwards by Unwired, who you can see him dancing over there on the left of your screen. He's the jammer for Capital District. Now we have Dylan Thies decided he's just going to take a seat.
Dylan's doing the chicken dance now. It's becoming a mind game versus an actual one competition for any points here.
It has been a long time since I have seen a jamless jam. We had a couple of those a few years ago, especially in women's derby, where the whole passive offense was a big thing, and
Unwired shouting over to the hooligans, having a laugh. Everyone here is actually having a laugh.
There's actually 10 seconds left in this jam. Now everybody in the arena counting down, I think enthusiastically, because they can't wait for this nonsense to be over. And there you have it, the jam that never was. There are definitely some fans in the crowd of that strategy, and there are also some people who were not too happy about that. But you know what? Hey, that's the game. It was totally legal, and what you might see is if teams start refusing to fall into that trap from now on, is that whole eat the baby thing might, have to go the way of the dodo if it's not actually working.
True. I am Havoc trying to go again at this jam. This time he's going against David Dowd. Kind of wonder if it was purposely to have those two face each other.
Well, that was a pretty quick jam. We've got 8 minutes left in the game.
Chaos Theory Derby is putting out there on our Twitter feed, LOL, a jamless jam, nice. There was a lot of LOL on the track. But as you mentioned before, half the crowd, they wanted to see some action here. As we're winding down 7 minutes and change in this bout here.
Well, Chaos Theory upset with the long ways feed here on the live feed. Unfortunately, it's the best we can do at the moment. We had a couple of different camera angles, and some following action planned out, but unfortunately, we had some hardware and software issues that kind of brought us to this point where everybody said, okay, great, it's working, now don't touch it.
And it looks like we have a track cut call on Abe Drinkin. It's going to leave Unwired with a power jam.
Now we have a totally different kind of motionless jam. Unwired stuck behind three, and then now 2 shock exchange blockers. Now they've got to let him go. Well, they had to let him go, and then apparently there was a track cut penalty, which I don't quite understand how that just happened. But. So, power jam, switched hands, Unwired, missed the penalty box, which is the bottom right-hand corner of your screen.
Ryan sending out.
Well, Abe Drinkin back to the penalty box. So here comes Unwired back into action, just in time for the conclusion of the jam.
And that's going to close the count. We've got 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Abe Drinkin was able to pick up a few more points there. Total out 29 points so far. Now it looks like we're having a timeout call here. But that's official timeout. Once again, want to thank one of our sponsors here with the penalty box is the Bruise Boutique Penalty Box. They are in the house right now. If you're looking to pick up some gear, they are based out of Nashua, New Hampshire. And even if you're thinking about starting up as a skater, a referee, or even an NSO with roller derby, there's a great place to go to. They have a fresh meat package where you can pick up a lot of equipment and some skates as well. And that's, again, Bruise Boutique.
Distortion, the owner of Bruise Boutique, has done phenomenal things for roller derby in this area. Besides sponsoring just about every team in the area, sponsoring all of the events, and the core of her business, creating a place where everybody knows that they can go and they can get the best equipment, they can get the best safety gear, they can get fun stuff like colorful laces and shorts and everything else. It is the place everybody in roller derby, especially in New England, knows that they can go to get anything they need on or off the track.
Absolutely, and they're always excited because you'll always hear on different forums of different teams, they always end up doing a group road trip out to Nashville, spend the day out and check out the countryside, but their main goal is to go to Brews Boutique.
So we are now on a timeout. That gives everyone a chance to think about all the exciting things they're going to buy from our fantastic merchants.
Right now we are in the middle of a timeout, courtesy of the Trauma Authority.
Behind the curtain, they're taking on the hooligans coming up next.
Poor Chaos was supposed to be here. What's up, dude? We miss you here. But it's okay because you're not missing much because about 80% of the time we haven't had a microphone to talk on anyway. So the in-house is working fantastic. They sound great. Sound system here at Shriners, always fun. Right now on our house feed, looks like we have Helen Carnett and Tutu Awkward.
Yeah, this Tutu Awkward's one of her first big tournaments she's actually come out to, coming out of Province Roller Derby, and having a great time so far. She was on the stream earlier when they were starting to have some technical difficulties and switched over to Facebook Cam for a little while. But everyone here is working hard and trying to get you all the live feed, streaming, video, and audio here. You get all the awesome action here at Battle on Bunker Hill.
Well, you know what I say to anybody who has a complaint about the live feed? You should have just been here. You should have come out, should have hung out with us all day. We're having a good time. There's a lot of merchandise. You could have got a whole bunch of new shirts and stickers and pins, and you could have watched all this roller derby with your own eyes. So it is what it is. You want to be lazy and sit around on your couch and watch your YouTube, this is what you get. I'm just kidding.
So right on in this jam right now, Kaisexual 4, the Shock Exchange Lamoureux is currently actually the lead jam right now for Trauma Authority. Kaisexual being held down here.
Everybody held up there on turn number 2. A lot of pushing and shoving, some tight defense. Kaisexual gets bounced around. He gets around Dowd, and he's out of the pack.
Yeah, Otter Manic from Shock Exchange trying to give a hand to his partner. And some hard hits were happening there.
Lamoureux had lead jammer, so he was able to actually call off the jam. Don't believe he scored any points on the jam, though. And we've got another official timeout. Looks like we got a review. Official review called by Capital District.
I see our next competitors lining up. We've got the hooligans in the red. Over there, hey hooligans, how's it going? Well, they must all have their mouth guards and be appropriately safe. I see Pasco Bay over here. Pasco Bay, how you doing? They're conserving their energy for cheering. They're conserving their energy for skating and not cheering.
This is amazing. All the way from Philly, Hooligans brought their entire charter and an entire section full of fans.
Yeah, earlier, some of their fans actually had their own made, not styrofoam, but more like cardboard fingers and thumbs up that they're putting up in the crowd.
Yeah, the Hooligans, Penn Jersey Roller Derby as an organization, whether it's both the Hooligans and the She Devils, one of the leagues that have the most fun in roller derby that I've ever seen. They, the men's team and the women's team, they all support each other. They're all one group. They're always out in the stands and cheering, and they've got signs and they've got their chants and their hand motions, which we may or may not be able to show on the live feed, but they are a fantastic group of people, and really inspiring for some of the other teams. They can take notes from that and say, you know what, we don't have to be all serious, we don't have to be all business. We can be competitive and have a lot of fun.
Absolutely. If you're looking at the live stream on the far left there, you'll see the row of red. That's only half of the chart of the hooligans we're looking at. It continues way off screen.
So, Black wanted to see.
On the official review. Thank you again for tuning in here at Battle on Bunker Hill. Again, you can be part of the conversation here on Twitter. Just hashtag BOBH2016. That's hashtag BOBH2016. Hell yeah. Just tweeted in. Garden State versus Providence. My favorite home team. Providence down at New Jersey, taking on Garden State.
And that is Jonathan R. for the Shock Exchange.
So I just got a word on the official review. That was actually called by the Shock Exchange, and they were looking for a skating out of bounds penalty on the Tan Jammer, saying that he skated out of bounds to avoid a hit while he was calling off the jam. Officials called it a straddling motion. Official review was denied, and Shock has lost their review.
Oh, we got about 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock right now. Jonathan R. from the New York Stock Exchange putting a few more points on the board right now. Bringing it 452 to 30 right now. Mike Hart representing Capital District Men's Roller Derby.
He picks up 4 more, that makes him 19 for this jam. He is sitting on 23 of the points. The big scorer for Shock Exchange is looking like number 9, Kendall Slate. 126 points. If I recall from looking at the stats from the last 20, that is the single high score far at this tournament.
Carnage Asada with the lead jam for Shock Exchange. Unwired on his way to the penalty box.
Yeah, it looks like it's a track cut call for that. And that's going to leave Carnage to Rick Carnage right now on the flat track, throwing another 5 up on the board for Shock Exchange.
You see Capital District, 3 blockers trying to hold up Carnage. Will Jettison was the last one to make contact on him, but Carnage makes it through pretty easily, picks up another 5 for Shock.
He'll come over and fix it between.
Unwired going down, falling small there. Having to put the star back on his helmet right now. But right now, it looks like Moore Dowd was holding Carnage down for a little bit. He had to fight his way through there on turn number 3. He was able to put another 4 on the board and quickly called it.
No, we have many games to play this week.
All right, we're bringing it down here right now. We're now under a minute. Lamoureux stepping up.
Looks like this should be the last jam here of this game. Starting to jam 480 to 30 on the scoreboard. Shankus picks up lead for New York. Lamoureux knocked to the infield by Malcolm Sex, forced to recycle to the back. Pretty much one-on-one with Malcolm Sex and Lamoureux. No pass, no penalty. Only 4 points picked up on the last one by Stankus. He's back in face-to-face with Massacre. Bounces off the rest of the Capital District blockers, and he's through. It's 5 more. And that's the... What happened?
On Poland Springs Jammer Line 4. Polar Seltzer for Jammer Line 4.
All right, we are back. This is the second half of the contest between Shock Exchange and Capital District. The score is 262 to 13. The first jam looks like we've got Carnage.
We are on an official timeout now.
And we are back just in time to catch an official timeout. New York Shock Exchange 326 to Capital District's 24. 22 minutes left to play in the game.
2016.com/live. It is a free live feed here provided courtesy.
Big sponsors for this weekend. We'd like to thank Rock Tape and also Polar Seltzer.